Hey everyone, and welcome to the GrowthVine experience with episode 1. Woohoo! Today, my guests are the fantastic and fantabulous, and they'll probably have me in hysterics before the end of the show, the fantastic Lee and Carla Rowley. So, for those of you who don't know Lee is kind of a left-handed monkey wrench, copy branding coach. He's an outspoken critic of pigeons, and he's the unearther of your unique brilliance. And Carla is just fantastic. She has more than a decade of insurance experience, and it's meant that she's got those support skills to kind of help business owners reach their growth goals. I should say she is also the #1 Lee Wrangler. So that is that is another part of what she does. But she's way too fabulous for insurance, which is where she originally came from. So now she provides VIP support to the world's most interesting entrepreneurs. Now, guys, this session should be super cool. I'm going to get Lee and Carla on to give you a wave, apart from Lee just ran away. There we go. He's back.
What's up?
Give everyone a wave, guys. So let's just get this. There we go. We can see everybody now. So guys, we are, and I first and foremost put this out to everyone that's watching, we are having some technical issues. There should be 4 of us on screen and we may be missing one, but he may rock up at some point. So welcome to those of you who are joining us live and who have joined us for the first time. Obviously, this is going to get better and better as we do it. But Lee, Carla, thank you so much for joining me. Do you want to tell us like a random interesting fact about yourselves that just is not in that really fantastic intro that you gave me?
Oh, wow. Well, let's see. We've stood at the Parthenon and wondered why it was so hot. Yeah, okay. So there's that. What else we got?
Well, we did claim a volcano in near Santorini.
We did climb a volcano.
Yeah. Did they let you go to the top? Because they wouldn't let me go when I wanted to climb the volcano because I had pneumonia at the time and they just wouldn't even let me do anything. Did they let you go all the way at the top and look in?
Well, yeah, it was like not like one of those where you can look in and see the lava. It was just all like ash and everything, and then you climb up. And yeah, they basically told us that if we saw any running lava, that it would be already too late for us to get away before.
Okay, that's maybe why they didn't let me up then in that case, because the one we went to see was an active one, and it was erupting everywhere. It's fantastic. It erupted every day. And they were like, no, you cannot go to the top if you've got pneumonia. And I'm just wondering if that's because maybe they thought I wouldn't be able to run back down if I saw lava. Quite probably. So what I titled for today's show, because Lee was going to provide me some talk points and he didn't, which is cool.
Well, I've got it in my head. I don't know.
That's all right. So I just titled it that we're going to talk about building a relationship, because I know that Lee, you are like me, and Carla, I'm sure you're like me as well, which is this whole soapbox thing. So I kind of like pull my soapbox out every time about people, particularly on LinkedIn, kind of just spamming you and not wanting to build relationships. And it's just like, yeah, have you had that? Or is it just me that's getting a glut of that this last couple of weeks?
Oh, absolutely. And because there are so many people who are new to online business, well, they've lost their jobs and their home and something to do. They realize, or they think that they can make $1 million overnight with their online business. So all you have to do is go out and just tell those people about it, and it doesn't really matter whether they've ever heard of you or whether they care. So yeah, I'm seeing more and more of that. It's just really lack of education.
Yeah, I had a guy earlier land in my DMs and he was just like, have you heard of this software? And I was like, oh my gosh, you must have read that I'm a tech geek. Oh my gosh, no, I haven't. Tell me all about it. And he's just like, it's to automatically slide into your DM and generate leads. And I was just like, okay, so that message you sent me wasn't personal? You didn't realize I was a tech geek? So it's like, no, go away. That's it. We don't want anything to do with you. And then I had another guy that I had to tell off because he keeps copying and pasting stuff, like literally even the same typos and errors. And I've told him about 6 times, go away, because that is not how you build relationships. What's your take on it? Obviously, how do you build relationships online? Carla, I know that you're just starting through that process kind of really again, but how are you building it?
Well, I feel like with face-to-face or online networking, the first thing you have to really do is listen and engage people. Find network with people just like you would if you were out making friends. Get to know people, what they do. If refer to be willing to refer somebody to somebody else's business that you know that you think can help them, and that builds a relationship, and they'll remember you next time too if they have somebody that they can refer to you. So really, it's just the same as the same old to have a friend you have to be a friend mentality that you have in real life. Is you have to actually get to know people and make that connection rather than leading with this is what I do.
Yeah, 100%. And Lee, you were the first person last year when we had our summit that introduced me to the phrase connection economy, and since then I've used it so many times. Where did that come from for you? How did you come up with that phrase? Because it's true, we are in this connection economy, but how did you fit that in?
Well, the actual phrase is just something that fell out of my face one day when I was ranting to somebody. I don't even remember who was the recipient, but that's usually how these things happen. But really, what I'm talking about here is this: it's the antithesis of the hero, the guru economy, or what we've perceived to be for so long. Is that you've got a few people way up here who have all the knowledge, and they're the billionaires, and they're running around in the Maseratis, and then there's the rest of us down here who need to suck on the teeth of great knowledge. And first of all, these people are full of beans. I'm not sure the rating of your show, so we'll keep it.
Yeah, I think everyone knows that I tend to drop a few F-bombs every now and again. I don't think it's too much of a worry.
It may get more intense than beans at some point, but but the thing is, and the way online business evolves now, it's evolving so fast that you cannot just throw out a strategy, a template, a funnel, a whatever, a one-size-fits-all solution and make it work for everybody, because it's not going to work 10 minutes from now. What works is actually, as Carla said, finding out who the heck you're talking to and what they need to hear, finding out something about them. What happens if you were walking down the sidewalk and somebody come up to you and say, hey, you know what? Hey, how you doing? I've got this great business opportunity. Come on, bunch of people, we're going to get in my car. We'll go down to the office. That's a Las Vegas timeshare sale. That's what that is. And after you go for that one time, you run like hell. And it's the same thing online. That's why I have the phrase deja vu. I've seen this poll before. Because once somebody's been burned by a promise that's too good to be true, then they don't trust anybody.
People buy from people, and there are so many shitty people out there, but it's kind of hard to decipher sometimes, I think, isn't it, whether people are telling the truth or not. Like, I was talking to someone the other day, and she was saying to me, how come you still got this person on your friends list? It's like, oh, don't know why. And she told me a story about someone, and I was sitting there and I thought, why do I still have this connection in common? Because actually I've heard about 10 different people tell me this person's a con artist and all these big bills and people that she's underserved and underperformed. And I'm sitting there going, oh shit, why isn't anybody actually talking about this publicly? Why are you still letting her trade? Because there are so many people out there who are sharks, or they are trying to scam, or they're just thinking, okay, let's just kind of screw around a little bit and try and do something because I've read a business book like once. It really gets my goat when you see people kind of out there doing that. And it's, I don't know, for me, it's about that real relationship, even if it's in a group chat and somebody's whining that they haven't had their first cup of coffee yet, but you're like, well, let's talk about it and have some fun. And talking of fun, have you guys got a pen and paper there?
We do.
Haha, perfect.
Got that. We've got rocket. Did you bring your rocket book?
I did not.
Well, all right. Tell you what, you can use my rocket book and I'll go old school. Crush rocket.
Yeah, do not get me started on that rocket book. I've officially started my list to Santa already, and rocket book is at the top.
Good. Yeah, no, it's probably my best purchase so far this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be my best purchase. The problem is that I kind of decided that I wanted about 3 different colors of it. I got a little bit excited. Right. Have you guys...
The color she wanted wasn't going to be in stock until sometime in next century.
Was that the red one?
Yeah.
Was that the red one, Carla?
And no, I ended up with the black one, but I was looking at the teal one.
Oh, the teal one was pretty. I must admit, I was after the red one with all the sheets in. I was like, ooh, hello. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get me a rocket book because I think I'm just going to keep geeking out until I get one. Right, so you guys have got some paper, yes? And you're not sharing it, so you're not going to see each other's answers, are you? We're going to play a game. Okay, I'm sure you know how to play, Mr. and Mrs., but we're going to have a good game of this because we're talking about building online relationships, and what is better than, you know, seeing how good your relationship is online. So I'm going to ask Lee to write the answers down, and we're going to see how well he knows Carla, because Carla, you and I need to hang out way more often because I keep enjoying these lovely hats and a necklace. I'm like, right, definitely need to know more about Carla. So Carla, I want you to write down the actual answers to my questions, and Lee, you're going to write down what Carla thinks, or you think that Carla would have put, okay?
Oh.
Zero pressure, but if you muck it up, then you might be getting an E-rate later.
I'm sleeping outside tonight. I'll go ahead and pitch it down.
Okay. So, Lee, what is Carla's favorite meal? Okay. Next one is, if Carla could run away anywhere right now and away out of this whole quarantine and lockdown situation, where would she go? Okay, next one after that is, what would she say is her favorite perfume?
Favorite what? I'm sorry?
Perfume.
Oh.
Okay, next one after that, and we're just going to do two more, is what would Carla say her biggest rant is? What is it she rants on about the most? What is Carla's big soapbox topic?
Okay.
And lastly, because you are the Lee Wrangler, Carla, what is the most irritating thing, Lee, that you think Carla would say about you? What do you think she would say is your most irritating trait? Have we got it? Lee's looking very pensive there. All right, Carla, Lee, I want you to hold your answer up so we can see it, just so we know that you're definitely not going to change it as we go down through this list. Carla, what is your
writing?
Yeah, you don't have to hold it to the camera. Does that say lasagna?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your favorite meal, Carla?
Yep.
Okay. And where would you go to right now?
Las Vegas.
He got that right. I suppose since you guys are moving there, that, you know, I sort of guessed that one would be the case. Although, when you've moved and settled in, I want to come visit. Just for the record, you have to be able to show me around because I'm probably the only person who's never been to Las Vegas yet.
Yes, absolutely. We're purposely getting a 3-bedroom place just so we can have all our friends come hang out with us.
I think you might need a bigger than 3-bedroom place.
Maybe.
Since you just invited everybody. Okay, Carla, come on. What is your favorite perfume?
Michael Kors.
Ooh. Did Lee nail it?
I whiffed on that one. Come up with it.
All right. What is Carla's soapbox topic, Lee? What is it what she goes on about the most?
Judgy people.
Is that what you put, Carla?
Stupid people.
Stupid people. Yeah, fair enough.
Judgy stupid.
There are definitely far too many of those in the world right now, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's like, do we go out? Do we stay in? Some people are like, ooh, what's 2 meters? I don't know if in the US they say the same thing, but here they say that you have to be 2 meters apart. And this is like the people that are like standing this close to you and you're saying, hello, that's not 2 meters. It's like, really? Go fuck off. And Carla, go on. What would you say? In fact, Lee, actually, let's ask you, what do you think Carla would say is your most irritating trait? No, trying to cheat at her answers.
Oh, I thought you were asking her.
No, I'm asking you, Lee. What would you say?
I talk to myself. That's got to be it. If it's not, I will eat my hat.
I bet that you were forgetful and scattered.
Let me go get the hot sauce.
Which is why you talk to yourself.
This was cool.
The problem is that the hat is such a part of his personality that if he eats it, we're going to have a problem, really, aren't we? We're going to have to go back through the whole audio setup.
We're also going to have a bad glare issue.
Yeah. Don't worry. I have the opposite issue here because it's so, even though this room is like really brightly lit, as soon as we come on any form of broadcast, it suddenly goes really dark and I've got like a million lights and you still wouldn't believe it. So,
got your
yeah.
back, though. That's cool.
I have, yes. We are starting to get ready for our next summit. And I figured that I better get my background back up because it's either that or I'll have to actually sort out whatever the problem is with the paints. And then I'm going to have to repaint the background. And I didn't want to do that either. So come on then, tell me, what has been the best connection that you've made online with somebody? And this is for both of you to kind of answer. And then I want to know what the worst experience you've had online with somebody is going to be. Okay, what is that worst experience that you kind of go, oh, they made me cringe when they reached out? What's yours? Go on.
You got anything, or you?
I just people trying to use LinkedIn as a dating site. I don't particularly like that when I get.
See, I was dumbfounded when you guys told me about this because, like, oddly enough, I don't get catfished.
Do you not? Well, I had to, for anybody who's watching who doesn't know this, I had to actually message Lee the other day, about 2 weeks ago now, wasn't it, to ask, is it normal for people to keep sending you kisses at the end of messages in LinkedIn? Because I just didn't quite know whether we were like Facebook BFF kind of informal level, or should I be kind of going, go away, you weird person? I now have a different person who keeps now blowing me kisses and like, sweet dreams, sweetheart, and all that crap, and I'm like, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Well, I get that. Carla, have you?
That's all I got to say. Better you than me. Nobody comes to me for hugs, so it's really just kind of a thing. I don't have to deal with it. But
well, I will send some of the guys off my Facebook page that send me really inappropriate pictures. I'm very aware that we are going to be broadcasting soon on LinkedIn, and I definitely don't want to be saying that word because I know they don't like it. But yeah, I get so many people sending me inappropriate pictures. I'll send them to you, and you can put one of your lovely salty memes back to them because I haven't got any of them yet. So, what about salty memes? You tell me, what is it, Lee, that really bugs you online, and what is it that really gets your goat when it comes to people kind of reaching out and trying to talk to you? Because I think it's really hard, isn't it, to work out what the hell you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to talk to people, because so many people have different ways of what's acceptable now. What is your take on it?
I've decided I don't care what's acceptable. If you walk into my domain, I have structured everything that I do such that when you walk into my private messages and give me crap, you get what you deserve. I mean, I don't make any bones about what I am and how hard I will smack you if you come in and bother me. I mean, this is from this morning, okay? And I actually posted about this. This was a message that I got, and this is not the first time. Can you point me to a vast audience of high-paying buyers who desperately need my help right now? I don't have time to waste. This is an aspiring copywriter who's saying, look, can I bypass everything? Can I bypass all the learning? Can I just go straight to that pool of high-paying buyers, that secret audience of people who desperately need my help right now so that I can make lots of money?
A, if you knew that, why would you tell him if he was just being rude? And B, who says you're going to get a free pass?
Yeah, well, why? Yeah, I've only spent 12 years, and look, we've had some rough years. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, I didn't hit the ground running and do a great job with this whole freelancing thing. We had some rough years, and she stuck by me through all. Where is she? She's down there. Physically, right, but she's. We got through it, but dude, all of those things built what I do today. and what I do for people, and what makes you think you're going to be that successful without getting your teeth smacked a couple times? I mean, it's just life doesn't work that way. And I mean, like, why don't I just go ahead? I'll give you the Easter Bunny's phone number. I'll set up an appointment with the Tooth Fairy. I'll cover it all with sprinkles. What the heck do you want? Why do you think that you get to come out here and just bypass everybody and be just hand me success on a silver platter, and then I'll complain that it's not friggin' platinum? And you wanted a rant, you got it.
No, that's true though, because there's so many people out there looking for the cheat sheet. Like I get on calls with people because throughout this whole kind of pandemic, I've been opening my diary up trying to help people, and I get on calls with people. And they're just like, oh yeah, I just want to cheat my way through, and I just want to be like $1 million overnight. I hear that you can get people to 7 figures, and it's like, well, yeah, when you put the work in and you've got things laid out and it's planned, I can get you there, but not like magically overnight. You've got to be willing to put blood, sweat, and tears, and a few more tears in to get to anything. I don't know if it's like an online thing, or if it's just people in general want to skip a step and they want to skip that relationship and building that connection with their audience. I don't know if that's just me. I mean, Carla, what's your take on it? What do you think about people kind of just trying to skip ahead a little bit?
They get on my nerves. I feel like they're lazy. I don't know, I guess. And then I don't know. That's just my perception, because I've always been taught that you have to work for things.
Yeah.
And, you have to put in the work to get. Nobody gets anything handed to them. So the fact that the mentality of the world's going to that, give me an easy button for everything, it's just a little scary to me.
What freaks me out and worries me more than the fact that people are just stupid is the fact they're stupid, and their justification to get people to work with them is that, people who are time served like us, they have built that reputation. They make that money because of it. And then you get these people that are coming in and they're going, oh, like the song, if you like it, then you should put a ring on it. And these guys are coming in and they're like, if you like it, then you should pay 10 grand for it. And it's like, really? These guys don't even know what they're talking about half the time. And I know, because I've signed a hell of a lot of NDAs with people that really don't know what they're talking about. And you're kind of having to fix it and make them look good. And these clients know that, by the way. I'm not saying anything I would not say in front of them. But you're kind of looking at it going, you can't just come in and suddenly charge 10K and say, pay me 10K and I'm going to teach you this, when you actually don't know what the hell you're talking about in the first place, because all these guys do is get around it by saying, oh, no guarantee, no refunds. It's like, really? I mean, does that just get my goat, or is that you guys as well?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I would highly advise somebody who's going to get into something like that to really have a conversation with the person, especially if you're going to spend a significant amount of money. Because like anybody can talk a good line of crap. Anybody can steal a copy template from somewhere that's pushy and hypey and promises a bunch of unrealistic things and gets you out of your mind long enough to go, oh yeah, I can do that. And there's too many people who are pushing that and saying that this stuff is possible. And that's where we're getting all these people who are failing with it, is because you get in there, it's not worth it. It takes work. And the promises that these people have made of easy riches and bypass all this are lies. That's why people very rarely ever complete those programs.
And can I just add on to that about the whole lie thing? Again, I don't know in the US what your law is there. In the UK, our law is that digital downloads, so anything that's an intro product, anything that's a course, etc., once they get access to it, they don't have an automatic right to change their mind within 28 days like is normal. Because I had somebody on a call with me yesterday, and she'd spent, again, some very serious money that would make your kind of voice go up in a few octaves when you thought about it. It's kind of eye-watering. And she was telling me that she got on this thing and they were teaching her the same old crap she could have bought for like $150 in a course. And we were chatting, and I said, well, just tell them you want out and you want your money back, but be firm because they don't have to give you it. And she went, what? She's like, I thought I had 28 days to kind of just say, oh, I don't like it, I want my money back. I said, no, online it's a different thing, because it's for us in the UK, it is a digital product, it's an info product. People don't have to give you your money back. And this is the thing that so many people don't seem to realize when they're signing up for this stuff and they're not doing that groundwork. But it's, it's about relationships, isn't it?
Exactly.
I mean, for you, how did you build those relationships? I know there's going to be people watching who are going to be like, okay, I want to build those relationships with people. I want to get some connections. How did you start out building relationships online that were actual real people? Because I know that you and I are real people. Carla, you're the same. You're the same breed. We talk real life, and we don't really kind of do the whole scam kind of atmosphere. We don't do that because we're about that kind of mission and higher purpose that we're on. But how did you start building those relationships in the first place? Because there's going to be people who are wondering about that.
Well, for me, it was about learning to be transparent and vulnerable in the content that I create. I feel like a lot of the guru-based content is just so pushy and salesy, and look at us, we've got our stuff together, we're perfect, and look at our Maseratis, they were blind, but we rented them, and everything's so perfect, and you got to listen to us. That's a wall, that's a barrier. You know, my first thing, and I spent several months testing content on LinkedIn to see really what connected and what didn't. But even though I do have 12 years of experience as a copywriter and I know a lot about that, I'm still learning too. So I'm willing to be open about my challenges, my struggles, the parts of my business and my life that I'm not good at. And to me, that made such for other people, I guess, connecting to me made such a difference because they're like, okay, we're not so used to seeing that. We're not used to seeing somebody be real. And that gives them permission to be more okay with their own faults and limitations and not judge themselves for it. When you can make somebody feel something better about themselves and relieve some of that pressure, it's not hard to get a connection started. It's not hard to get a conversation started. And so usually from there, I have people connecting to me. If we have some synergy through a few PMs, then I'll say, hey, you know what, here's my link. If you want to jump on a call, I'd be happy to chat with you for half an hour. I don't do that with everybody because there are some people who frankly would be wasting my time. But, you know, it's as long as it's not a one-sided thing, I've met lots of people. And going back to, I've met lots of valuable connections, but a recent one was a music agent in Kansas City. Who knows a lot of musicians who don't have anything to do right now. Yeah. And I've been jonesing to have live music on my show, my live stream, for, you know, ever since we started. And then suddenly that connection turned into musicians playing live on my live stream. So I
missed this episode. I must have missed this episode. I haven't seen it yet. Don't give any spoilers away then.
Yeah. But that all starts again with just that being honest with who you are and attracting the people who are okay with that instead of trying to impress the people who aren't.
Yeah, I saw something the other day and it made me laugh, and it made me laugh because it was the most random thing in the world. And I'm loving people, by the way, putting their TikToks out there at the moment. There are some where I just don't get them and I think they slightly miss their audience, but I love it when people are just putting out just things that fit them and their personalities. Kind of this, we talk a lot about behind the scenes when we're talking about marketing. And then when we're looking at things and we're really wanting to get to know people, the one that stuck out to me the most, and it's the most simple thing, was somebody had just videoed the floor and they had those funny, do you know, like you can get like the monster claw slippers, like the weird giant things? They literally videoed themselves tap dancing, like pointing the camera down over at their feet. And then they put just at the very end, like a really nice little kind of, you know, be kind to everyone. It's amazing. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I just think I love you even more now because that is so cool. Just because it's just you being you. There's no ulterior motive. It's just, this is cool. And I think we forget, no matter which platform we're on, that actually that's important. Just having that, let's have a conversation. I mean, what makes you stop scrolling at the moment? Carla, what makes you stop scrolling when you're kind of going down the newsfeed?
Usually if it looks, I hate to admit it, but sometimes if it's just too long or if it looks like it's going to be somebody complaining, I usually just go past it. If it's something that catches me that's kind of short and sweet and just to the point, and I know with Lee, a lot of his posts are longer, but he usually gets, well, and of course being a copywriter, he gets that point right out there. So with his, you know, I want to read on, but unless I see something that draws me, that's positive, that I'm interested in that first sentence, I pretty much just kind of skim through.
That's what actually.
And this is the thing, Lee, all the pressure is on you, isn't it, really? Because as a copywriter, how long do you spend crafting these posts, really? Because I read something the other day, and it was a copywriter, it wasn't you, who was saying about spending hours crafting the perfect LinkedIn post. I was like, oh shit, you put my whole 10 seconds of effort into shame. But how long do you spend, since you do have to be that wordsmith, how long do you spend crafting these types of posts?
Really not that long, because my Rocket book is filled with words and phrases and ideas, things that go in my mind all day long. And once I learn to carry something around with me to record those, and because I'm an old school guy, it's pen and paper, even if it's the digital version. But I have just like a whole mess of it's the dump truck basically. Whatever. That I can go into and go, okay, here's that. So like usually I'll knock it out in 10 minutes and spend 20 minutes fussing over cadence and how it sounds. I'll read it out loud and all that good stuff to make sure it sounds okay. But I don't spend hours and hours and hours on those. Client copy, yes. If I need to sell somebody's $25,000 mastermind, you can bet I can sweat blood over every word, because that's just what has to happen.
Yeah, we've not split hairs over things before, have we? I think for me, like you're saying that, and I'm sitting here thinking, shit, I definitely don't spend enough time. I literally say it as I see it, and then read it back and go, does that make sense? And then I just post, because I used to overanalyze everything. And I'm a recovering people pleaser here, and I would look at it and be like, okay, that kind of looks good, but then maybe people might say this, or maybe people might think this, and I don't want to upset anybody. And I'd spend ages crafting stuff, whereas now I kind of go, yeah, that's kind of all right. It'll do. It'll go out. And I have a bit like you. I keep a notebook of random ideas, but I just keep them as bullet points to kind of like send me off on one of my little tirades of whatever it is I'm thinking about. My email list completely know this. I think the most time I ever spend is when I'm looking for gifts, because I have a bit of a thing about sending gifts out with my content at the moment.
Oh, okay.
But it makes you stop and look, doesn't it? If you see a funny gif, you kind of go, oh, or is that just me?
Oh, well.
Does that make you stop, Carla?
Oh, yeah. Those are a lot less common on LinkedIn than Facebook, so I think they stand out more just for that reason.
Yeah, I need to up my gift game, because I spend far too long on it. I mean, for you guys, what would you like if obviously we're in lockdown at the moment, so let's play a quick game. Lee, tell me about a place that you would love to go to if you could get like $1 million right now and you could go anywhere in lockdown. Obviously, because there's not going to be too many stupid people. Okay, where would you like to go if you could just have like $1 million and just go anywhere right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, we've already covered Las Vegas, so there's nothing going on right there right now. Well, although I love hiking in the desert, I really do. So
is it not hot and sandy?
Yeah, it's an early late evening thing.
Yeah.
We did some night hiking one evening the last time we were out there, way out, and that was really beautiful. It's just it's hard to explain if you've never stood out in the desert. Growing up in Ohio, we have trees and buildings, and then suddenly you have that vast openness. There's just something so profound about it to me. So that would probably same answer, but just so I could go out in the desert and go hiking.
See, you're saying that, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to get bitten, I'm going to fall over, my torch will fail, I've got no idea how I'd find my way home. How practical is it, really? It sounds for me, it sounds very impractical, but obviously it must be something amazing. How impractical is it for somebody that like me who's just thinking, I don't do bugs or insects?
Well, we've never been without a guide.
Okay.
And so I can't. We've not done that adventure. We will, I'm sure. Well, but right now, yeah, we're relying on a guide to make sure that we get back in one piece. We've also done it in the fall when it's not. I mean, July is 112 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's hot. But in October, it's more temperate, and even up till mid-afternoon, it's not uncomfortable to go hiking.
Okay.
Night. When we went night hiking, I had a sweatshirt, another sweatshirt, and a hoodie, and a leather jacket, and toboggan, and probably a parka. I don't know.
Well, what about you, Carla? Where would you go? You're not like to say what Lee said. He just looked like he choked on your coffee there, Lee.
I think I probably would choose something more beachy at this point, where I can preferably where I had a view where I could go out on a balcony or a patio and just look at the ocean and maybe even get out into the sand. So basically, probably a deserted island would do well that had a nice house and running water and all the modern conveniences.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee maker. Yeah, I get that. I could see that. That would be quite cool. I mean, well, for me, I was just thinking now as I asked the question, where would I go? I guess I would probably go, since everybody's like locked down, I'd probably go to all those complete tourist hotspots around the world and just spend all my money just going around going, I can get a picture that's an actual picture without a million people doing selfie stick. And then you're getting a million people in the background doing a selfie stick. So I'd probably just go around and do that.
So you want to spend your vacation in downtown Fallujah? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, like, I don't know, even go to see like the Great Pyramids and stuff. I completely geek out over Dr. Michael Scott's complete girl fan crush, because he's amazing. Carla, go look him up, he's fab, right? And they did all this mapping of the inside of the Great Pyramids, and I was like, okay, this looks fun. But then they showed you shots outside that obviously had all the queues, and I went, oh, I don't do so much at queuing. Like I'd even probably go and do Disneyland again because I love Disneyland. I just didn't like it when the French people were there. And I did Disneyland in Paris, and it turns out the French people like to be there a lot. So it's kind of like, well, I go around all those tourist hotspots and just enjoy them while the people weren't there. Rather than, I'm not a sand person. I get really frustrated when I get covered in sand.
Yeah, that's the thing about beaches.
Yeah,
the whole sandy thing.
But how are you finding things now in terms of, like, for you, Carlo, obviously you're kind of making that switch over and obviously starting to do more and more kind of VIP support and things. How are you finding making that switch now that we've moved into this almost kind of parallel universe, zombie apocalypse, as I keep calling it, where people are just, they want to have those conversations and they want people to connect with because they're kind of so socially isolated right now. How are you finding kind of building a business around that and in this kind of climate? How are you finding it?
Well, for me, it's actually a great time because I, with my day job, with my corporate job, my volume's down. So I have more time to make those connections and kind of like spread myself out a little bit more. And I have the time to learn more. And I feel like I'm busier now than I was before the quarantine because I feel like I'm super productive and getting even more done. Just because it's for me, it's just been a time to focus. I don't like to waste time, so I don't want to, just because I can't go and do all the things I necessarily want to, I'm not going to waste the few months that we're going to be stuck in this, or hopefully it won't be more than a couple months, but.
I had this discussion, just this morning. You know how you're kind of making pleasantries with people? And I was in a supermarket and this lady was saying to me about how long do you think it'll go on? And I think certainly in Britain, the consensus is that we may get out of lockdown kind of, but that we're going to be locked down pretty much in one form or another with this whole social distancing for at least a year. And I was kind of sat there today thinking, and I know it's completely inappropriate to be thinking this at this point, but I was sitting thinking, I'm going to get cheap flights, hopefully out to Nashville when I come next year in March. And then I was thinking, I wonder what type of kind of like weird mask I can create, because there's no way I'm coming back out to the States without a mask because I got corona when I was out in January. So I was thinking, oh my God, what could you put on? Like, what pattern or what weird thing could you put on a mask that's so eye-catching? You could wear it networking and it not look bad. Lee, you always have good ideas. Any suggestions?
I hadn't thought about customized masks, but now that you're mentioning it, the Phoenix logo, would just be perfect and freak people out, which is a bonus.
It'd look like you were going like that though, because it'd be like covering your mouth.
Yeah. Well, we'll work on it. It's a yeah.
And it'd be like somebody saying, "Shh, Lee, shh." What would you put on yours, Carla? Because I'm serious now. Because I was out at Funnel Hacking Live, the show, and I was just looking around, and the guy that caught my eye was Colton Crottinger, not because of anxiety hackers, even though I love all that stuff. It was because he had this custom-made kind of schoolboy blazer that looked very English-esque, actually. And I was just like, oh, I like it. I was thinking, oh, what could I do here to stand out? What would you put on your kind of face mask if you were going to kind of a networking conference and you could customize it? Because it's about this connection, right? And we're talking about connections. But what if people can't see your mouth? What if this social distancing keeps going on and we're going to physical conferences, but people are starting to wear masks? How are we going to communicate without people being able to see our full facial expressions? What would you put on yours?
Probably flamingos, peacocks. I for whatever reason love birds. I think it's because they're so colorful. So I'm probably like, probably peacocks, flamingos, birds that I could like coordinate with my jewelry and my hat, and whatever.
I love that hat. I yeah, because peacocks are weird, aren't they? They stand on one leg, but they stand in really kind of salty water, don't they? I'm sure I read an article, and all I took away was, if I see a flamingo standing in the water, I don't want to drink it, and not because they've peed in it, because the water's actually going to be really bad. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, guys, I still don't know where Alex is. We should if I had my phone up to hand, I would do should we do a phone a friend moment and phone Alex and go, where are you?
You're the woman with the button, so.
I haven't got the button to hand to do that, unfortunately, but I will definitely do that next time if he doesn't rock up. I'm going to be like, right, let's do phone a friend. So closing thoughts then, guys. What would be your final thought around this whole building relationships and building connections online?
Be yourself. If you're putting something out there that's not right or not true, then you're really hurting yourself and everybody else. If somebody works with you, they're going to want to work with you. Your ideal clients are going to connect with you and come. So come anyway. So it doesn't make sense to don't put a bunch of fake stuff out there. Just be real and ask questions and get to know people.
Okay, Lee, what's your final thoughts? And you cannot say anything that Carla just said. Haha, she's made it hard for you now.
Oh, well, I like to make up rules on the fly, don't you?
Yeah.
Make it up as you go. Making it up as you go along. All right, but you know what? Since I can't say what she said, it's so.
She said it so eloquently and perfectly. So what are your random thoughts?
This is not a time to be stuck in rigid thought. And somebody you think is going to be an awful connection, as long as they're not bugging you and asking you, if it's a two-sided thing and they're being sincere, you don't know who's going to be able to help you, especially now. We're looking at so many opportunities that even a month ago, we never even considered, just because of the people that we've met. And so I would say at this time, and especially if you're kind of at a crossroads, be open. Some of the things that the beliefs that you've held, it's time to challenge those. It's time to see if those are still true, because they may be keeping you from meeting people, developing the network you need to be 3 times, 10 times, 100 times as successful as you are now. Not overnight, not with a push button solution, not with a freaking template, but with ingenuity and work.
Well, it's true, isn't it? It's true. I think there's so much out there where it's about being yourself right now. It doesn't matter who you are. And this is why, and I'm going to say the word, it's a horrible word, but pivots. Everyone is on about pivoting, aren't they, at the minute? It's just like, really? People are saying, oh, I'm pivoting my business. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I wonder, is that because they're actually, changing the way they do things, as they've spent time thinking about stuff and thinking about what's important to them? Or is it that they're pivoting because actually the brand they've been doing all along has not been authentic. It's not been them. It's just been something they fell into doing. And for me, I think it's looking at people and not just looking at their profile and what they're putting out online. I think it's about getting to know them, having that connection, just talking to them, seeing what their content is. And if they're not putting out content, just chatting away and sliding into their DMs and just being genuine. Because the amount of people I know that I've spoken to in the last 3 or 4 weeks where they are saying, ignore my profile, don't look at that. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, don't look. Because they're pivoting and they're changing because actually they've realized that they've maybe stopped being themselves. They've maybe kind of missed the mission and the purpose they're on because they've been following the money. They've been following what makes them cash and hits the bank rather than following what makes them feel good. And those things can go hand in hand. And I think that's what people have started to realize. And it's that connection and that relationship and just talking to people and just not expecting them to talk just about what's on their profile, not looking at it as a opportunity to be kind of sly or sneaky or try and sell them something, just being honest. What is it you're doing? And if they say I'm pivoting or I'm changing something, well, why? What is it you're doing? And I think that's so important as well in this kind of day and age that we do that, because none of us have any idea how long this zombie apocalypse, the business apocalypse, is going to last, do we really? No. Unless your secret pigeon there, Lee, has kind of uttered something when they've been spying on you. I have no idea.
No, the black ops pigeons do not have intel.
Does the black cat?
If they do, they're not sharing it. Yeah, the black. He's got it down pat. So.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This was not quite the episode that we had planned at all, but hey ho, who cares? We're doing this to just introduce real people to other real people and to have a connection and have a conversation. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. We'll have to get you back on when we are all, everything can do it, because I'm very scared to push buttons here because I'm not quite sure which button is going to break something. And I don't want to give anyone a really shit experience because, you know, we don't do that. I'm British. We don't do that. We queue nicely. So
yeah, I understand. Well, look, here's a counterpoint to that, though. To your Britishness. What if somebody looks at this and says, you know what? I don't have to be perfect to start out. I'm going to start my next live stream tomorrow. And if I make mistakes, it's okay. Because, you know, look at these guys. These guys know what they're doing and they make mistakes. So that's one of the pieces of value in this is that you're encouraging people to stop wishing and start trying. And that is hugely valuable. So if you're on the fence, if you've been like, hey, I need to get out there. I know I need to get out there to start my business. Look, we all have to start with the first episode. Okay?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Nothing is ever perfect to begin with, ever. Is it really? No. I know for me, you know, I said to you before, Lee, when I was on your show, the first time I went on radio and I had to do any form of interview, I had no idea I was going on. I had a professional actor, very, very well paid actor, who got paid far too much to turn up and supposedly give an interview on national radio. And every time the presenter cut to him, he froze. He could not open his mouth. Every time they put a song back on and you know, we tried to G him up a little bit, I even got to the point of giving him bullet points and went, talk about this. And as soon as they cut back to him, he couldn't speak. And my boss at the time rang me and he's like, Lindsay, you've got to fix this. Otherwise your ass is on the line because you are there. You are supposed to be controlling him. And I was like, oh shit, I can't get this guy to talk. There's nothing I can do to physically like pull his tongue out and make words come out of his mouth. So I was like, right, okay. So I jumped on this interview and I ended up talking to this guy. And yeah, it was all right, actually. I did everything right just because I knew I had to. And it was this case of, okay, it is what it is. You go on, you do your thing. And if it sometimes goes a bit wrong, that is cool too. I've done live TV where things have gone wrong. And you're stood there going, that's not what's supposed to happen, but let's continue anyway and throw that damn pie or do what we're doing, because that's just the nature of being live. It's the nature of doing something. So yeah, echoing for people that are watching and catching up as well on replay. It doesn't matter if things go wrong. It doesn't matter if you have tech issues. It doesn't matter whatever the problem is, as long as you get started and you get going and you just go, shit happens. Let's carry on regardless. So on that note, and on a note of shit happening, carry on. I'm going to see you all guys on later. And Lee, Carla, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Lindsay. Great job.
All right, guys.
Show. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Nice to see you, Carla. We need to hang out more often because you are fantastic at Lee wrangling. So we need to hang out way more. Speak to you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.